Hello everyone, this is Liker here, and today is a video that I've wanted to make for a long time, but I just kept putting it off. Basically, I wanted to create a video for my 30th birthday, and that is well long past. It's already been 2 months, and I just want to go ahead and kind of share the various pieces of life advice that I've accumulated that have at least worked for me, and you can use them in your life. You don't have to use them. These are just recommendations that I've collected over time, and I'm gonna go through them one by one and just kind of talk about each one of them. I have all of them in notes. This was supposed to be 30 things I've learned by 30, but I have more than 30, so I think I'm just gonna use them all. Some of these I value more than others. I'm not gonna categorize them. I might leave a timeline in the description for each of these, or I might not. I've gotten very lazy with videos lately, so I might not even bother with that. But number 1, get a bidet. It will change your life. If you live in North America, because from what I've seen, bidets aren't in Canada either, get a bidet. Install it on your toilet. It'll be difficult to get done, but it's how do I even explain how beneficial a bidet has been for me? I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't have like the best digestive system. A lot of the food that I eat doesn't sit well with me. A bidet has drastically reduced the amount of toilet paper that I've had to use, and toilet paper on its own is not enough. It's pretty much the same thing, and you'll feel a lot cleaner. And there might be hesitancy to like spray water up there. You'll get over that fairly quickly. It is absolutely worth it. They come with ones that are like heated and everything, and they probably like heat your toilet seat too. There's a bunch of fancy ones out there. I got a simple one. It was like $50. Absolutely worth it. It saves me money in the long run because I don't use nearly as much toilet paper as I would otherwise. So, I mean, it pays for itself. It's absolutely worth it. Get a bidet. If probably like, you know, just a bidet accessory to your existing toilet. I think that's the best way to do it. I don't really understand the separate bidets where you have to like get up and walk over and then spray. It doesn't make sense to me. Right on the toilet. That's where it makes sense to me. Okay. Number 2. Job requirements are wish lists. So if you are applying to jobs, you can ignore trying to fit all of the requirements because those are wish lists. There's a reason there's a job opening, and chances are they're not going to find anybody that fits all the criteria. A lot of them are written by HR that has no idea about the context of that career. So for example, if you work in the tech field, do you think the HR representative that wrote up that job description and all the requirements is knowledgeable about the tech industry? Probably not. And that goes for any industry out there. So take it with a grain of salt. Let them reject you. Do not reject yourself when it comes to applying to jobs. If you find a job and it pays well, you're interested, go for it. If you're not qualified, they'll disqualify you. But at least take on those jobs that you're interested in. Don't let 5 years of experience for an entry-level position deter you. Number 3, Learn how to make new friends. When you get out of college, chances are you're not going to know anybody. Chances are that you're going to have to learn how to make friends again. So especially if you're in your early 20s, this is prime time for you to make new friends, because there's going to be a lot of other people in their early 20s they're in the same boat as you. You just graduated college, maybe you moved to a new town for a new job, something along those lines. You need to go out to public places, find a third place, which is a place outside of work and outside of the home, and find new friends. Learn how to make new friends, meet people, go to things that you're interested in. If you don't have a lot of stuff in town, try new things that seem somewhat interesting, even if it's not to your liking. Again, and this is not something that you're going to have to do just once. You're probably going to have to do this on a regular basis. Now that I'm 30, a lot of my friends are impossible to meet up with because they have other responsibilities in life, or they're moving away, or a lot of them have kids now. It's hard. It's hard to meet up with friends that have kids, and they genuinely do want to meet with you, but it's not. Sometimes it's not possible. At least that's my point of view. Maybe you disagree. Number 4, don't follow what you love. Think about your skills. What comes easy to you? So there's a few things to evaluate. And I've kind of broken down pursuing a career into 4 different categories. And Louis Rossman actually helped me kind of rethink what passion means. And it doesn't necessarily just mean what you like, but also what you're good at. So the 4 categories are what you enjoy, what's available, what pays well, and what you're good at. If you could strike all 4 of those, you got a dream job on your hands. So if you enjoy doing the work, that's a plus. That's huge for you. But it's not all. What's available is, how many jobs are there out there? Is it realistic for you to be able to land one of the positions? It's not to say that you can't pursue a job that there aren't many openings for, but it's going to make your life a lot more difficult, and you're probably going to have some sort of other job to pay the bills until you can land that job. If you have a job that's also available, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. What pays well? Again, you don't necessarily need to make a lot of money in order to live a good life, but a lot of dream jobs out there, from what I've seen, are going to take advantage of you because it's such a pursuable job. Oh, you're lucky to be in this career. And that's how they justify to pay you less than you're worth. Now, there's many ways they can justify to pay you less than you're worth, but the pay is important, and you shouldn't overlook it. You should be paid what you're worth, or at least as close to it as possible. If you need to take a pay cut for your own sanity so you can have a better job, by all means. Just keep it in mind. And then 4th, what you're good at. This is just going to make your day-to-day life with the job a whole lot easier. If you're good at what you do, you'll be more confident with your job. You'll feel like you belong. You will have a better grasp on the day-to-day tasks, and you'll feel like you fit in, and that makes life a whole lot easier for you. So yeah, finding a good career is more about than just pursuing what you love. There's a lot of elements to it. I will also say the environment matters a lot. So the people at your job, and that's not something you can really predict. That's just kind of something, maybe you can get the vibes from the job interview, but oftentimes you don't know until you're actually doing the job. So if you have a terrible environment, you can at least have the knowledge that it's the environment that sucks and move on to a different position elsewhere. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. That's number 5. So I'm not saying that luck doesn't exist, but I am saying that opportunities may be rare, but you can at least prepare yourself to be ready when the opportunity strikes. I believe I heard the analogy of luck is like a train showing up at a station at random times, and you don't know when it's going to show up, but you need to catch the train. So you just have to be there, and you have to be ready for when the train shows up, and you don't know what time the train is going to show up. So you kind of just gotta be ready for it. That's what I'm saying. So if you're down on your luck, try and up your prep. Try and just prepare for the moment when it happens. Oftentimes, the little things in life will be quick and fast, and you won't have much time to prepare when it strikes. So you kind of got to be ready ahead of time, or at least take advantage of the moment, even if you don't capitalize it, and learn from your mistakes if it doesn't work out. That one was a little more vague, but generally I think that's a good mindset to have. It allows you to be a little bit more in control of the situation. 6. Do not sacrifice what you enjoy to impress other people. You will be miserable if you entirely hold back parts of your life that you really enjoy. That's not to say that you shouldn't be healthy about it. I'm not saying just because you enjoy beer to become an alcoholic, right? But I've always loved cartoons. I'm gonna always watch cartoons. I love cartoons. I'm not gonna deprive my life of cartoons just because someone else thinks, oh, that's childish. And you shouldn't be doing that. You should be entertaining yourself with more mature stuff. And I'm like, whatever. But it is easy to kind of like fold into peer pressure and cave in and feel ashamed of your interests. But try your best to hold on to those, because they're for you. They're not for the other person. Living on your... this is number 7. Number 7, living on your own will force you to develop skills. You will have to become better at cooking, better at cleaning, better at doing pretty much any household chore, better at time management. I've only learned this recently because I've only moved out a year ago. It's actually kind of hard to believe that it's been a whole year. But, yeah. I've gotten way better at cooking, for example, after moving out. I make all of my meals, virtually all of my meals. Sometimes I'll stop by my parents' place and they'll make me something. Or sometimes I'll go get fast food, go eat out at a restaurant, something like that. But largely, most of my meals are made by me, for me. So if you live on your own, you're probably going to get better at cooking because you're probably not going to have a choice. And I hope you don't DoorDash all your food all the time, because that'll be many more problems for you. Okay, number 8. Living with parents is a financial cheat code. If you don't have your career set, you should probably be living with your parents. Or be prepared to have no money for a good while. Even if they charge you rent, they're probably going to charge you much less rent than a landlord would. If they charge you full rent, then by all means get out. But yeah, it's security, it's safety. If you have it, it's great. Living with my parents allowed me to change careers easily, and I could spend time away in between jobs and try and figure out what I needed to do. And a lot of people change careers. So I think it is wise to kind of wait until you're at least like in your mid-20s to move out officially. That said, I know a lot of people can't stand the thought of living with their parents anymore. And I can understand. There's a lot of... since moving out, there's a lot of things that my parents do that totally get under my skin. I still come to visit, I love them, but I am happy that I moved out. However, I'm happy I moved out as late as I did, because now I have a good amount of savings, and I'm looking to replace my car, and I don't have to go into severe debt for that. So that's kind of huge. That there have been a lot of pluses for me living with my parents for an extended period of time. I'm sure there have been a lot of consequences too, and I haven't fully realized all of them yet. But it is a financial cheat code. 9. Moving is more expensive than you think. You're gonna have to, if you move out for the first time, for example, you're moving out of your parents' place, you have to buy everything. And you'll have taken for granted so many things that you didn't have to buy. You'll have to buy furniture. You want a chair to sit in, you have to buy that chair. You want a bed to sleep in, you'll have to buy that bed. You want a lamp so that way you don't have super bright lights behind you. You'll have to buy that lamp. You'll have to buy cleaning supplies to take care of the place. You'll have to buy your own shower curtains and shower rod, probably. There's so many things that I didn't realize that I had to buy until I moved out. So yeah, another reason to develop savings and live with your parents for a good while. Make sure you have enough money and you can actually afford to move out, and you won't be miserable. Number 10, it is easier to maintain good habits with a partner. The most active that I've ever been at a gym was when I had a gym buddy. So if you have someone that's right there with you that you're working on good habits with, whether it's nutrition or exercise or simply going outside and touching grass, it is easier to do with a partner. It is easier to do with someone else who's on your team that's helping you out. Number 11, if your friends never have time for you, you need new friends. This goes along with what I've mentioned in number 3. It's kind of a brutal one, but it needs to be said that if you are trying to hang out and you're making an effort to meet up with your friends and everything like that, and they say no, and they're always busy, you need new friends. You need new people to socialize with, and you're gonna have to make new ones. It's tough. It's not easy, but it's a necessity. Number 12. When you cook for yourself, you will create your new favorite meals. I don't even remember writing that one down, but yeah, it's true. I prefer eating the food that I make at home as opposed to the vast majority of fast food and restaurant food and all that. I know what I like. I know what I like to eat, and when I prepare it, it's delicious, and it's some of the best food that I've ever had. It has been made by me, and I'm super proud of that. Number 13. Oh. Huh. I'm not sure what I meant by this one. It says, be wary of new normals, example subs. I'm assuming subscription services? I'm not sure what that means. I'm assuming that when I wrote that down, it meant like, just be wary of like new regular normal occurrences that are happening in your life that you've gotten used to. And I guess like, yeah, you probably don't want to get used to, bad things in your life, like spending a ton of money on like subscription services, or maybe you don't, make sure that you clean after yourself, because if you don't do it on a regular basis, you're going to get used to living like a pig, stuff like that. That's probably what I meant when writing that down. Number 14, the hardest part is getting started. Use momentum to get more done. I actually did this earlier today. I had a bunch of chores to get through, and I finished my dishes, and then immediately after finishing my dishes, I was like, I still feel good. I still feel like I can do more. Let me go ahead and start prepping dinner. So I started cooking just immediately after, and it was I was very productive, and I kept the momentum going. When you stop and start and stop and start again, that's going to kill a lot of your pace. So if you still have the energy, and like you're going from one chore to the next, do that. If you find that you're struggling to like go to the grocery store, maybe leave some grocery bags in your car and go to the grocery store after work. There's a lot of things that you can do to take advantage of that, but that definitely helps me stay productive. All right, number 15. Produce goes bad faster than you think. Yes, it does. Absolutely. If you're going to eat healthy, if you're going to eat fresh food, make sure you eat it quickly, or make sure you go grocery shopping multiple times a week, because it goes bad fast. Refrigerate bread if you have to, or freeze it if you have to. Especially if you're living on your own and you're not used to living on your own, produce is going to go bad quickly. Make sure to use it shortly after grocery shopping. Make sure you cook with it. Do whatever you want with it. But use up your produce. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of food. Number 16. Rest is productive. I think a lot of people are very harsh on themselves when they do rest, and they don't think of it as a productive activity. It absolutely is. You need to recharge, you need sleep, and you need rest. And rest isn't just about sleep. It's also, hey, I did a lot of stuff today. Or I did a lot of stuff yesterday. I'm not going to do anything anymore for like the rest of the day or all day today. And honestly, that is productive. If you've been working hard and you're exhausted, you got to take care of your body. And that also means resting and taking breaks. It's important. Number 17, say yes to invitations by default. Now that doesn't mean say yes to every invitation. But if you're on the fence, you should say yes. If you're thinking about it, you're not sure, say yes. It'll probably help you unless you don't have the time for it and you are super busy. But for me, that's a whole lot easier for me if I start saying yes and I start accepting invitations. It's going to get me out of the house. It's going to get me to meet new people. It makes life a whole lot easier for someone like me that has a hard time going out, making new friends, talking to people. Highly recommend you, by default, say yes to invitations. Number 18, embrace the butterfly effect. This isn't so much a tip as it is just something to keep in mind. One action can lead you down a whole new path in life. One decision that you make, like let's say that you say yes to an invitation, for example, and you go to a party, and then you meet up and you end up making a new friend. That new friend could be your best friend for like the next 20 years. Or you could meet someone who has a job referral. And then all of a sudden you have this job opportunity. You interview with them, you land a new job, and now you've started a new career. There's so many things that can happen just from one little event taking place. So just keep that in mind. You absolutely can start something from nothing. And keep in mind that the butterfly effect is very powerful, and your whole life can change just because of one decision. Number 19, this is what I was talking about earlier. You can make something from nothing. And being able to make something from nothing is one of the most powerful feelings that you will ever experience. So what I mean by that is, you have no friends? You can make friends out of not having friends. You're not required a one friend minimum in order to make new ones. If you don't have any dating experience, you can just go out and ask someone out and start dating. And yeah, you might not have any experience, but you can start from nothing. You're trying to develop a new skill? You want to play guitar? You want to speak French? Guess what? You can start from nothing. So just keep that in mind, and I think that'll make you more confident when you're failing early on. But it's very well possible. Pretty much everybody does it. So just keep that in mind. Number 20. This is something that I came up with my therapist. Because I was wondering, like, what is the definition of confidence? What does confidence really mean? Because people throw that word around a lot. To me, confidence is the belief that everything will be all right no matter what happens. So, yes, you might ask someone out and they might say no. It's still going to be okay, regardless. Or you're pursuing a job and you want to ask your boss. Let's say you have a job and you want to ask your boss for a raise and they say no. It's going to be all right no matter what happens. Even if your boss throws a fit and they're a total jerk, well, guess what? Maybe you should leave and go find a new job. Everything will be all right no matter what happens. You will recover from the worst, and good things can also happen from that thing that you're so anxious about. Just try and believe that everything will be okay. Number 21, switching jobs is the easiest way to improve your income. Unfortunately, we're at a state where, staying with a company for 30 years just isn't going to benefit you in the long run. Some jobs will give you promotions, will give you raises. Most won't. Or if they'll be insignificant. You're going to get a much higher raise by hopping from job to job. So yes, you should probably jump from job to job every 2 or 3 years or so. It's going to be worth it. You'll be making more money, and it's going to help you out, at least in the short term, because you do not want to be below the poverty line. You want to be able to live below your means and actually save money, right? It's definitely worth it. Number 22, you'll never know what a job is like until you start working there. I've already mentioned that, but it's very true. Your environment probably won't be exposed during the interview. You're going to get to know your coworkers. You're going to get to know what the day-to-day version of the job is like, and you're going to get to know if you like working there or not. But you won't know until it's too late and you're already in the thick of things. So just keep that in mind and try and be at peace with that if you can. And if the job is killing you and stressing you out a ton, there are other jobs out there, and there are ones that will treat you better. Number 23, learn to recognize rage bait in social media. So what I mean by rage bait is basically there's the social media algorithms are benefiting. They're all controlled by engagement, and rage bait is one of the easiest ways to get engagement. So you should ignore that YouTube video with the clickbait title that's trying to make you mad, or like a Facebook post or whatever. Block it, ignore it, move on. If and from what I've kind of developed, the best way to handle rage bait is to just kind of detect how you're feeling, because chances are if you're feeling angry and upset, it's that post or that video or whatever is probably designed to make you feel that way. You are being manipulated and you are being controlled by social media. Wow, that was a really loud thunderstrike. It looks like that got picked up on the mic. Number 24. If you want to commission an artist, require them to have a pricing sheet. This is not including friends. This is just to avoid bots and scams. Do not commission an artist unless they have a commission sheet. It will make your life a whole lot easier. If they do not have a commission sheet, do not commission them. It is not worth it. They are probably a scam. They might not be, You don't want to take that chance. Number 25. Beware the Apple and Android tax. So just don't buy stuff on your phone, or if you do, use the browser. Like Twitch subs, if you buy it from the Twitch app, they're $8 a piece. Guess what? They're $6 if you use the browser on your phone, or if you use it from your desktop computer. Apple and Android, the Google Play Store, they're taxing you extra on purchases if you buy stuff that aren't in apps from those stores. You're gonna probably save money because they're probably charging you extra. Legit, like compare the rate of like I think I saw like a Crunchyroll subscription from your phone versus like on a desktop computer. You might be paying extra and you don't even realize it. Number 26, start building your credit now if you haven't already. Get a credit card from your bank and just put like a Netflix account on it and pay it off in full every month. If you're 18, do it immediately. It's the perfect time. If you haven't started building credit yet, and this probably just applies to Americans, probably doesn't apply to other nations, just start doing it now. It'll help you in the long run. You'll want, one of the biggest impacts about credit is how old your credit is. So if you start now, by the time you get older, you won't even have to worry about it. You'll have at least some credit build up. Just make sure that you pay it off every month. So a Netflix subscription or something that and make sure you set it to auto pay too. From what I've experienced when I've bought new credit cards, sometimes the first purchase was required to be manual. Very weird stuff. I actually called one up and asked if they could remove the fee, and they did. So that was cool. Just keep that in mind. Number 27, also financial. Start saving for retirement if you haven't. Compound interest. Learn about it. Compound interest is basically, okay, I'm going to put in some money. Oh, I got some interest. Well, guess what? That interest is going to make interest, and that interest is going to make interest, and that interest is going to make interest. So the earlier that you start, the less you have to save. If you're like 20 years old, you should probably start saving for retirement now. Open up a Roth IRA. It's free. It's easy to do. You shouldn't have any trouble with it. And I think in this day and age where people like change careers a lot and go independent, it can often be overlooked. So yeah, I would absolutely start a Roth IRA as soon as possible. If you want to know what a Roth IRA is, you can Google it. You can search YouTube videos on it. There's a lot of people that are smarter than me in the finance industry that can explain to you what a Roth IRA is and how beneficial it is. But yeah, you're going to have to save less money over time if you start earlier, and you start when you're younger. Number 28, expect your body to change. You don't know how your body's going to change. So enjoy your young years while you still have them. Your body's going to change on you. My knees are a musical instrument now. I can't enjoy dairy like I used to. There's going to be things that happen to you and you don't know what it's going to be. And I should probably be very grateful for my current body at 30, because I bet when I'm 40, I'm going to feel a whole lot of different things. Number 29, if you live in a cold weather climate and you drive, if there's ice on the road, slow the hell down. It should be 45 miles per hour maximum. I don't know what that is in kilometers, but I think it's 60 kilometers probably. Don't go any faster than that. And there's a great website called icyroadsafety.com. You can go to that, and they have a lot of helpful videos on just safe driving in the winter. So I highly recommend checking that out. Driving in the snow and on ice, even if you're not in a cold weather climate, you can still get freezing rain. So you got to be very careful about that. Driving is dangerous, and driving in bad weather is even worse. Be careful. Number 30, changing careers might be worth the struggle. Yeah, so if you find that a career is not working out for you, it's okay to switch. It's okay to do something else. And you don't necessarily have to go back to college if you already went to college. Sometimes they just want to see that you have a degree. So I would definitely look into pursuing a career if you feel like what you're doing for a living isn't working out for you. And that's okay. A lot of people change careers over time. I would recommend that you change earlier if possible, so that way you don't regret changing later when you have more responsibilities and you've already built up more of an income, and you're all of a sudden you're like, I kind of hate this, or even if you feel like lukewarm about it. Before I changed careers, I used the statement that I felt like I was living someone else's dream job. That was probably a sign that I needed to switch to something else. Number 31, your emotions are regulated by your environment. I think that's largely true. It's not totally true, but it's mostly true, I would say. If you have a clean environment, you're going to feel better about yourself. If you get exposure to sunlight, if you surround yourself with positive people in your life, your emotions are going to benefit. So whatever you can control in your environment to make your mood better, try and do that. It'll help you out quite a bit. Number 32, multiple apologies will lower the worth of your first apology. So if you do apologize, make sure it's sincere. Try and be thorough and be specific about it, and talk about what you want to change and how you want to improve going forward. But you don't need to apologize over and over and over again. At that point, it's going to seem insincere and that you don't even believe in yourself. You also have to forgive yourself too after you make a mistake and you need to apologize. So I have had a habit in the past when I was younger of apologizing multiple times, but I think I've gotten over it a good amount. And yes, like, I will feel guilt internally, but you kind of just can't project that to the people that you need to apologize to. One apology is good enough. Number 33, never trust a job with a website that has stock images of people smiling or interacting in an office. It's probably a fake job. Yeah, research the job that you're applying to and check their website. Does their website look like they have stock images of people like shaking hands or a bunch of people in a small group and they're all like smiling and you can't even tell what the organization is and what they're doing? It's probably a scam job. Be careful about those. All right, number 34. If you have a frozen pizza and you're alone and you want to eat it by yourself, you might want to look into cutting your frozen pizza in half before cooking it. And then you'll have 4 slices that are fresh and then 4 slices that you can cook later. I think it's a good idea. If you don't want that much pizza, maybe you just bake a quarter of it. Just still cut it while it's frozen. It's difficult to do. Be very careful with knives. But I absolutely do recommend cutting your frozen pizza in half and then cooking it in multiple intervals. Because chances are you're not going to want to eat the full frozen pizza. At least I don't. But I will eat half a pizza gladly. And frozen pizza is much better when it's freshly cooked. And reheating pizza is such a pain. Number 35. Do not lend money you can't afford to lose. Just have the mindset in your head that you don't expect the money back. And if it's too much money, then don't loan it to other people. If you're willing to depart from the money, then go ahead and loan it. But just keep it in mind, because there's a lot of people that will ask you for money and will say that they'll pay you back, and they will not. Number 36. This is with the famous meme, which I've shared on Twitter a couple of times, with Supersonic. Never trust how you feel about your life after 9 p.m. And that is totally true. That is so fucking true. Do not trust how you feel about your life after 9 p.m. If you're feeling super depressed, you might want to just go to bed. And then you'll feel totally different in the morning. Hopefully. I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like that meme has actually saved lives. Number 37. If you have been rejected from a job that you want, email them back, and in your response to their rejection, offer to be available if anything happens. Basically, just be a fallback option. Offer to be a fallback option for them. Oh, they already hired someone? Okay. Well, if you know of any other openings or if anything happens, feel free to reach out. I'm still interested. Just something along those lines. Be very polite. Accept the rejection with grace. And I've had this happen where jobs that I've applied to that have... Actually, it was really just one, but regardless, I really wanted a job. I did not get accepted for the job. And then I reached out and I told them, hey, if anything happens, feel free to reach out to me. I'm still interested. And then months later, they did offer me to come back in for another interview because apparently their hire didn't work out. Unfortunately, by then, I did already get hired by a different organization and I was happy with the job that I was in. So I decided not to go with them. But the fact that even happened shows that works. So definitely keep that in mind. Number 38. Meditation. That's the tip. Meditation. I use meditation. I probably shouldn't. I should probably meditate more. It's very good for your brain, especially if you have a lot of built-up thoughts and stress and anxieties, or you feel like emotions are taking over you. Sometimes you just need to meditate, and what I do to meditate is I just look up the emotion that I'm feeling. So it could be like a meditation for anxiety, or it could be a meditation for grief, or something along those lines. You can type it into YouTube and just get in a comfortable position, throw some headphones on, listen to it. It is wonderful. Basically, it's like diarrhea for your brain. You feel bloated and you need to get it out. And it is a beautiful thing. I highly recommend meditation. Number 39. This is for the Americans again. Do not use TurboTax. Go to irs.gov and you will have free options available for you for free filing for taxes. There will be websites that probably don't advertise themselves, which is a good thing because that means that they're not milking all their money in advertising budgets. Also, TurboTax has lobbied the government to make filing taxes more difficult. So I really recommend not to use them. I would use irs.gov, no matter what your income bracket is. And there are free options available for you. TurboTax is almost certainly not going to be one of them. If they are, you're making a lower amount of money. But again, I just wouldn't use them on principle. You'll have options available. You can like provide your income level and some other things like, oh, I'm single or I'm married or stuff like that. Throw that into the form on irs.gov and they'll provide you with providers that are free for your state and for you. And then I have one note after 30. I guess I'll throw this in as a little extra. This could be my 40th tip, but I didn't learn it by 30. If you are going to wash knives, especially like really like fancy, large, sharp knives that can cut you easily, please wear rubber gloves. Do yourself a favor and wear gloves while washing and drying knives. It will be much safer that way. I highly recommend it. Okay, that was it. That was 30 things that I've learned by 30. Actually, it was 39 things that I learned by 30, and one thing I learned after 30. I am really tired. I have been talking for about 45 minutes. I think I'm good to end this here. But this was pretty much all the wisdom that I've accrued through my 20s. So I hope it's helpful to you. If you have pieces of wisdom that you would like to share, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I think sharing advice and life lessons learned is extremely valuable, and I think this is good advice for everybody. So I'm not going to use one of those titles that's like, if you're in your 20s, watch this, because I think this is the kind of advice that people in their 30s and their 40s and even their 50s or in their teen years can use. It's beneficial. So just keep that in mind. All right. And again, like, it's just advice. Do what you want with it. You don't have to listen to everything that I say. I am hoping that no, I'm not even gonna say anything else. I'm just gonna get out of here. Let's end the video. Take care. Peace out, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye bye.